in time where people make a decision. The most successful challengers who actually land clients, who get results, who show up for themselves, the difference between them and everyone else is one thing, is a decision they make to not just be a great starter, but to also be a great finisher. How many ideas do we have in our brain that if we just filled them out, if we just finished the work, how many brilliant businesses could you have created if you stopped restarting, but you actually finished it, you saw it through? Look, I don't know about other challenges. I don't know about other trainings. I just know about this moment right now. With the one life we have, this is it. As far as we can tell, I want to make it count. And I know you do too. And one way to start seeing so much more progress in your business and in your life is by pushing past the barriers, by pushing past the, oh, that's not gonna work for me, or, oh, I tried that before, or, oh, I guess this is just another failure for me. Like, no. Pushing past every limitation that stands in your way, by knocking out every giant and climbing every mountain and conquering every struggle in front of you, and finishing the job in front of you. Your success is on the other side of you finishing the work. Not just half-hearted, not just going 50%, not even going 80%, but finishing. So right now, I want you to make a decision in your mind, in your heart. I want you to make this decision for yourself. I am a finisher. I am a finisher. You are a finisher, not just a great starter. What's really incredible, can I just remind you of how incredible you are? Look, there have been hundreds, thousands, millions of generations that have gone before us, right? Your father, your grandfather, your great-grandfather, your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great, all the greats, right? And all of their lives, your great-grandmother, your mom, all of them, all the lives that have led to you right here, they have all lived. And now it's your turn. And now you get to decide, what is the life you will live? What is the mark you will make? What is the impact you will create that only you can create in this moment, in this time? Because there's no one else out there like you. Did you catch that? There's no one else out there who can do the work like you can. There's no one else out there that can show up the way you can. There's no one else out there that has the passion and energy and excitement and personality and strengths and the unique perspective that you have. And there are clients waiting for you to show up. Waiting for you to show up. Not the version of you think you need to be. Not the mask maybe you put on every day, thinking this is how everyone else is showing up, so I have to show up this way. I remember when I first got started, I tried to be like everyone else. Gary Vaynerchuk, sure. Tony Robbins, sure. Right? All the people, Pat Flynn, I try to be everyone else. And it wasn't until I made a decision. You know what? I'm gonna throw all that out. Who am I? What do I like about me? What brings me joy? Ask yourself that right now. What brings you joy? What fills your happy meter? What gets you energized? What if you could show up in a sales conversation? What if you could show up when talking to potential clients? What if you could show up when creating content? What if you could show up in a way that lights you up? It's possible. It's possible. You can succeed on your own terms. It's a commitment I made to myself. I will build multi-million-dollar business on my terms, not the way everyone else wants me to do it. But I'm going to do it in a way that makes me feel good. I'm going to do it in a way that makes me come alive. And I'm committed. I'm committed to that. I'm committed to learning from the people I know I'm supposed to learn from. I'm committed to the coaches that are going to pull out the greatness in me, not just try to make me another copy of them. Oh, Cash, that was so good. I'm committed to the coaches that are going to help me be more me, not me trying to be more them. I'm committed to the support I need to get there. I'm committed to the risks I'm willing, I have to take to get there. If you're committed, guess what? The committed don't stop. They keep going, and 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 they finish. You are a finisher, and you are extraordinary. So today, as we get into the training, as this countdown continues to count down to 0, and we're about to start, I want you to be reminded. Succeed on your own terms. Be more you. Authentically and congruently you. And today, make a decision. I'm not going to let fear stop me anymore. I'm not going to let insecurity stop me anymore. I'm not going to let something I haven't learned yet stop me anymore. I'm going to learn it. I'm going to develop this skill. I'm going to develop the traits. I'm going to have a growth mindset, which means I can grow in skill. If I'm not good at it yet, I will be one day. And I'm going to keep going and keep going and keep going until I am. You are a finisher. You're extraordinary. Get ready. This training is fire. I'm so excited to teach you. I'm so excited to be your coach this week. I'm so excited to train you. It lights me up. All this, working with you, it's what brings me joy. I'm so excited for you. You ready? All right. We're going to get started soon. See you in the training. How do you attract, connect, and commit your dream clients to happily paying you premium price? Today, the best coaches, experts, and freelancers realize that icky, manipulative, non-consensual selling strategies just don't work, and are now leveraging a new way of selling to accelerate our business growth today.
I'm only one client away.
There's always so many nuggets with Sean. There's so many nuggets.
Good session. More good information, man.
I just have to say that it is amazing.
I can promise you that this challenge is like none other. It's like no challenge we've ever taken before. It literally changed my life, and I'm sure that it will change yours too.
Natural, nothing silly.
I love that Sean shared all that. I actually was over here in the beginning, like about to cry for a minute.
Today's session, that was amazing. And now I'm thinking back on all of my different sales conversations before.
Believes that it is possible to combine purpose and profit. So if there's a voice in your head that says you can't do both, I'm here to tell you that you can do both. And Sean is the person that helped me to understand that.
I just thought that was great. The whole thing was awesome. This is my third time taking it. I still have lots of notes, lots of screenshots.
Day 2 was amazing. We did some amazing stuff. I got my questions answered.
I actually learned this because I've learned so many good nuggets from this challenge.
I have, learned from lots of amazing people, but I've never seen a sales call go that way before.
It's why I keep coming back. Every single time I take this challenge, I learn something new that kind of sticks.
Sean is fire, brings so much value. Everybody should take it.
Do you want to be known as an expert in your space, be recognized as a leader in your industry, land aligned, high-paying dream clients who love doing the work and also who get results 10 times faster?
I actually participated a few times now, and every single time I learn and grow so much.
Serve, don't sell. Ask, don't tell.
Ask, do not push. Help, do not control. Lead.
So many breakthroughs, so many gold nuggets
I'm Sean Q.
Sean Q.
Sean Q. Sean Q.
I think this is just the inspiration that I needed.
Gold nugget takeaway was the silence, like how quiet Sean was and how often allowing the person to essentially sell the program to themselves.
It will work. It will get you the results that you are seeking. So powerful. Heck yes to this challenge.
And now it's your turn. Get ready because the One Client Away Challenge starts right now.
What up, everybody?
Welcome, welcome. I cannot believe we are more than halfway through the challenge, and we are on day 4 of the One Client Away Challenge. I'm your host, Adiola Quintero, and your coach for this week, Sean Q.
Hello, hello.
Isn't he amazing? Hasn't he been doing such a good job?
Oh, thank you.
So before we jump right in, we've got a lot today, and I'm just super pumped to get started. We have a couple of announcements. One, let's give a shout out to our support coaches. So
Go support coaches.
Give a shout out to Nashira, Nadine, Justin, Occam, Brian. I think that's everybody.
Yeah, there's so many. So
Give
so
them
awesome.
a shout out in the chat. Say good morning. Tell us where you are in the world. Seattle, Washington. I know like yesterday we were saying like all over the world. Super cool that you're here to join us. And if you have a question during today's challenge, go ahead and use #question. We would love to answer your questions at the end. We're going to have Q&A with our support coaches, and it's going to be fun. Last announcement. If you have a golden nugget during today's challenge, that means if you hear something or you see something, you're like, I need to screenshot that, or I need to share that with a friend. Oh my gosh, that is exactly what I needed to hear today. We want to hear it too. We want to know what is getting you like, ooh, I need to keep that and remember that because that is so life-changing. We want to shout those out as well. Use #golden nugget.
#golden nugget.
See those, grab them, shout you out throughout the challenge.
So do it right now, actually. Get those fingers warmed up. If you were here yesterday, you know how many notes you took in the chat. Like, get those fingers warmed up, but #golden nugget right now in the chat.
And we are ready to jump right in. So I believe we have a
Let's do it. All right, let's jump right in. I am so excited. Welcome to day 4 of the challenge. Can you believe it? Huge shout out to the entire team. You guys make it work. We got the amazing Addie here. She's 34 weeks pregnant and here, and like we're having so much fun. And we got Nyla as well. We also got Baby Yoda. We forgot to bring him on. We got Wisdom in the back. We got Roxy and Chelsea. We got Shirley, who's gathering your questions. So as soon as you have a question, if you have not had your question answered yet, we want to answer it at the end. So make sure you use #question. We got Dan and Angela and Madife. Such an amazing team. Can we give Team Q an amazing shout out? Thank you so much. Then we got the support coaches, Nashira, Nadine, Brian, Justin, and Occam. So awesome. Now this week, today, we're talking about overcoming every single objection, money, spouse, and time. Are you ready for people to be like, okay, yeah, let me just sign up. All right, day 5, scaling your sales and sustaining momentum. Tomorrow, if you're like, I need those systems, Sean, then tomorrow you're going to want to be here. Every single day, we release workbooks, cheat sheets, scripts, templates, etc. that you can take, make it your own, use it so it can make you land clients. It can help you land clients. On Saturday, we have a bonus expert panel as well on Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Hop on Zoom if you're in the inner circle. Live stream for everyone else. So we're going to be live streaming it right here in this group. It's almost Friday, which you know what that means. We are giving away prizes. So we have an Amazon gift card, a ring light, a Yeti microphone, an iPad mini, 12 months of coaching. Imagine where your life would be 1 year from now if you made a decision to show up as your best self and I held you accountable to that. You had this energy that you're feeling this week. You had the accountability. You had the coaching. Let me know, what would life look like a year from now with the right type of training? Let me know in the chat. We also have our grand prize. I don't even think I have a slide for it yet. But you are going to fly in. You are going to have an entire coaching intensive with me, my team, just you. It's exclusive to you, and you're going to get your branding photos done. You're going to get video content done. You're going to get audio content done. You're going to have your website built, your funnel, but like, listen, this is a whole coaching redo. Like, it's so good. Let me know which prize do you want to win in the chat. And then also on Monday, we have great group coaching. So everyone's invited. It's this Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. We're all going to hop on Zoom. I'm going to coach you. We're going to do hot seat coaching. And it's going to, listen, when you get coached, for those of you who are in the inner circle, let me know. Has the coaching been like powerful or what? Now, if you want to sign up for the free group coaching, Zoom seats are limited because it is on Zoom. So go to clientchallenge.com/group-call. The team will put that in the link. Click that link right now. All you gotta do is put your email in, and then you're signed up. You got your seat, which is pretty awesome. I want to know, what was your biggest gold nugget from yesterday's training? Let me know. What are you still chewing on? What are you like, oh my gosh, Sean, that was so good. Yesterday's like such a great training. If you missed yesterday, go watch yesterday. You need it. If you were in the inner circle, what was your biggest breakthrough yesterday? Use hashtag inner circle in the chat below. Now, I believe breakthrough is found in your celebration. Let me know. Did you do any of these? As you take action, we can celebrate it. So maybe you did a live stream. I saw some of you guys do live streams. It was amazing. Maybe you sent an interview request. Maybe you scheduled an interview. Maybe you did an interview. Maybe you scheduled a wow talk. Maybe you did a wow talk. Maybe you had a sales call, or maybe you've even been one of the amazing folks that has actually landed a client this week. No matter where you land on here, as long as you've done one of these at least, you've taken action. Okay, I want to give a huge shout out to Mo and Yolanda and Lori and everyone who's gone live, who's taken action, who's been showing up. You are finishers. And Melissa, you are amazing. So she went live yesterday, 18 hours ago. It's like 19 hours ago now. And she said this, you should know this was a referral to my group coaching program, but honestly, I could tell you that group just wasn't working for her. And so she ended up having a wow talk with her, ended up offering a high ticket offer for $1,200. And she said, yes, she landed a new client. Y'all, can we shout out Melissa? Congratulations. Keep taking action. This stuff works. She literally did what we said. Do an interview, do a wow talk, have a sales conversation, make the offer. And it happened. So it absolutely works. Make sure you're using the process too. If you've taken action this week, guess what? Good news. You're a leader. Why? Because leaders, have you ever heard the term leaders are readers? Yes. Leaders are absolutely readers. They consume and take in content and take in training, but leaders are action takers. They're the ones in the field. They're the ones doing the work. They're the ones showing up every single day to change lives. So you're a leader if you've taken action this week. Congratulations. Addie, what are we seeing in the chat?
Oh my gosh. Hi, Tolan saying massive congratulations to Melissa. Satori saying leader and VIP. Woo-hoo!
Yeah, so good. And we're a little off center, I feel. All right. Here are 11 phrases leaders tell themselves. You're a leader. Okay. These are 11 phrases I want you to write down in the chat right now. 11 phrases. The first one, today is a great day to build and create. Today is a great day to build and create. What am I going to create today? What am I going to build today? Number 2, no one is responsible for my success besides me. I am responsible for doing everything I can, for taking ownership of what I can, for taking responsibility of what I can. No one is responsible for my success besides me. All right, 11 phrases. Third phrase, I welcome the learning process with open arms. I welcome the learning process. I'm going to make mistakes and I welcome it. I'm going to do it really messy. We have a saying in our, when we work with our clients, sloppy success, right? Because you can have perfect success, but that's going to take you like a bajillion years because guess what? Perfect doesn't work. So we're going to go for the sloppy success. We're going to get it done and then we're going to make it right. We're going to get it perfect. We're going to like make it excellent. So get it done, then get it right. So I welcome the learning process with open arms. Number 4, everyone was once a beginner. Good news. I was a beginner. She was a beginner. Like Tony Robbins was a beginner. Like, listen. So key to recognize. Everyone was once a beginner. So I can begin too. All right, next phrase, I will not let someone else define my self-worth. We're going to talk about this today in detail, but I will not let someone else define my self-worth. How I know I am worthy and I am valuable and I have space that I can take up and I have purpose and meaning in my life. There's a reason I'm here. I will not let someone else define my self-worth. So key. That was a breakthrough for someone. I know it. All right, next phrase. I have a bias towards action. Put that in the chat right now. A bias towards action. I have a bias. I have a preference. I have a leaning, a drive towards action. Not just learning, but action. Next one. I am rewarded when I do scary things. I tell this to myself all the time. I am rewarded when I do scary things. I am rewarded when I do scary things. So I want to go do that. It's kind of scary. Well, guess what? I'm going to do it anyways because I know there's a reward on the other side. Next one, my potential knows no limits. Oh, so good. My potential knows no limits. The next one, I may not know yet, but I will surround myself with people who do. This key, lean in. Okay, this key has been extraordinary life-changing for me. I may not know yet, but I will surround myself with people who do. If you don't know something, stop asking yourself, how do I do it? You don't know. So instead of asking how, start asking who. Who do I need to surround myself with that has already figured this out so I can get over this mountain? I can get over this hump. Who you surround yourself with will determine your destiny. I absolutely have seen that time and time again. So I may not know yet, but I will surround myself with people who do. Another phrase of leadership, just this principle of leadership, I fill my cup so I can overflow into others. This is about abundance. I take time for me. I take time to pour into myself so I then can overflow into others. If I'm empty, I cannot give to my wife what I need to give to my wife. If I am empty, I cannot give to you. If I am empty, I cannot give to my clients. You can't give from an empty cup. So I fill my cup so I can overflow into others. And the last one, and this is so key, put this in the chat right now. Forward is the only option. I am changed and I cannot go back. Have you heard something this week? Let me know in the chat. Have you heard something this week in this training from my mouth, from one of the support coaches? Have you heard something that changed your perspective, that gave you insight, that made your direction different? Let me know. Forward is the only option. I am changed because of this week and I cannot go back. I'm not going back to the way it used to be. I'm not going back to the old ways of doing sales. I'm not going back to the mistakes I was making. I am moving forward. Addie, what are we seeing in the chat?
Brian says no going back. Satori said forward is the only option. Linda saying today's a great day to build and create. Fire emojis from Nashira.
So
Mo
good.
says forward is the only option.
Yes, so good. Okay, by the way, those are really great phrases. If you didn't get the screenshot, for the sake of time, go watch the replay, screenshot it. Those are great affirmations. Great affirmations to give yourself every single day. Now, I believe you can't grow what you don't know, so let's see where you're at. Heck yes or heck no. There are no maybes, no heck maybes, no maybe babies, no kind of sort of more women. It's either heck yes or heck no. Number one, let me know in the chat. I want to know where you're at. You look forward to objections, questions, and concerns. You look forward to them. You're like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait for them to give me a question or a concern or an objection. Let me know in the chat. Or maybe you're like, oh, that's not really true. I'm like, oh, I hope they don't. I don't hope. All right, number two, you can tell the difference, heck yes or heck no. You can tell the difference between an actual real objection and an excuse just to get out of the conversation. Like they are not even interested. It's a legit concern they want to overcome, or it's an excuse. Let me know if you know the difference. Number three, when talking with a potential client, you spend 85% of the time in deep listening mode. I want you to take a look at all the conversations you've had in the last, say, year or 6 months, 6 weeks or whatever. How much time have you spent in deep listening mode? Okay, number four, you don't get nervous, anxious, disappointed, or aggressive when you hear the word no. Let me know in the chat. Okay, maybe you get nervous when you hear no. Maybe you feel disappointed. Let me know. Does that happen? Heck yes or heck no? And then this challenge has been filled with crazy value for me. If this is a heck yes for you, go and put hashtag this challenge is and finish that sentence in the chat. Addie, what are we seeing in the chat?
Lori says, heck yes. Dowd says, number 2, no. Satori says, heck yes, listening. Paige says, hashtag heck yes to number 3.
So good, so good. All right. Now, number 6, let me know heck yes. All of you should say heck yes to this. Okay, number 6, you're committed to building your business, landing high-paying clients, and kissing distraction, overwhelm, and uncertainty goodbye. Let me know in the chat. Go ahead and give me a hashtag heck yes. So good. What are we seeing in the chat, babe?
Satori says, this challenge is magical. Paige says, this challenge is fire.
Yes.
Hunter says, this challenge is hashtag a heck yes.
Yes.
Dee says, this challenge is eye-opening.
Ooh, eye-opening. I love it. Okay. Maybe you're like, oh my gosh, the dots are starting to finally connect. Let me know if you've had that moment. Like, oh, okay, that's how this works. And that, oh, okay. Okay, let's get into today's training. The Dream Client Matrix. This is okay. Literally hold your brain right here. The Dream Client Matrix. Like, wait for this training right now. It's about to be fire. The deep psychological secrets of objections. The one strategy to navigate any objection. And how to take back control over the power of no. Okay, if you're like, oh my gosh, this is about to go down, good, and let's play the Ready game. Yesterday, who was the Ready Queen? We had Ready Royalty. Do you remember?
I'm
blanking too. So let's see who's the Ready King or Ready Queen. Today, we're moving crowns. And who's Ready Royalty today? Go to put hashtag Ready in the chat below.
Let's see.
Drum roll, please. What are we seeing in the chat, babe?
Who's going to be the Ready person today?
Ready Royalty.
I'm like,
I know, I am so excited. What are we seeing?
Oh, hi, Lori. Oh, Satori.
Satori, congratulations. You are the Ready Queen. Go ahead and put that crown on. Give yourself a little pat on the back. You're ready. Everyone give her a huge round of applause. Let's talk about objections. Okay. Your first question is within yourself. Your first question is always to yourself. Do I want this person as a client? Will they be a joy to work with if I choose to work with them? You are always auditioning the client. We talked about that yesterday, right? Do I want them as a client? Your first objection is going to be your own objection. Am I objecting to this client? A great way to understand whether or not they are going to be a dream client is the Dream Client Matrix. Okay, if you're drawing this out, go ahead and draw this out. Go ahead and put in the chat the words joy and then the word alignment. Joy and alignment. Let's go ahead and take a look. Let's say there's no joy and there's no alignment. All right, these are the worst types of clients to say yes to. Why? Because it'll be awkward, right? You'll know these people are no joy and no alignment because in the conversation, it's awkward, it's fake, it's forced, it's boring. You just kind of have that gut feeling like, they don't really want to be here. It's kind of a weird conversation. It's awkward. Maybe if it even feels like a chore to work with them. There's just a negative vibe, like they're like, that's not going to work for me, or I don't get it, or no. And there's just a negative vibe. And maybe there's even a lopsided power dynamic where they're telling you, you have to do this for me. And like, there's just a lot kind of that power dynamic. They're trying to control you as opposed to like working with you. So I want you to keep an eye out when you're having these conversations. Look out for this. You'll know immediately, okay, this is just not a dream client for me, and that's okay. Go find someone else. And then it's generally a toxic environment. Generally, it's toxic. I mean, you can probably look back at like your workplaces. This actually works really good for like, okay, is this a great workplace I want to be at? Is this a great family member I want to continue having a deep connection with? Is this a friend I want to have connections with? Right? Have you ever had those friends or even just people where it's just toxic? You need to let them go. This is for someone. There's someone in your life you need to create boundaries around. This is identifying that person for you. Here's your permission to do it. So good. Okay, so let's say there's joy, right? You feel so much joy, but there's not alignment. Like they don't really match your values or your mission or your goals. Here's how you're going to know. It's fun and comfortable and natural to be around them, but their goals are different. For example, I have some friends. We can hang out all the time. We have so much fun. We play board games. It's so fun, but we don't talk about business. Why? Because they don't really care. They're not entrepreneurial. They don't really care about building a business. There's no alignment there. So I wouldn't take them on as a client. And so there's joy there. Typically, those are your friends, but they're not aligned to specifically your mission and your goals. Now, you'll know this if they're like, oh, I don't really want to work on live streaming or my copy or my weight or, I don't really want to do that. you really like working with them, but they're not really aligned to your goals. Okay? And then let's say there is alignment, right? You guys have the same values, the same goals, but there's no joy. Okay, your values are congruent, but your personalities aren't. There are very specific personalities I work best with. If our values are congruent, like our values are aligned, like we both believe in being able to do this, but the way we approach life is different, they're not a dream client. Okay, there's no joy there. What's going to happen is your goals are congruent, but your processes aren't. So what you want to achieve is the same, but how you want to achieve it is different. There's going to be a lot of tension there, a lot of butting heads. Like, I want to do it this way. No, I want to do it this way. Or we should do it that way. And then you got your joy and alignment. You got both of them. You got this dream client. The way you'll know is it's very comfortable in the conversation. It's natural. It's fun. It's stimulating. There's lots of laughs. And there's lots of trust. There's equal power dynamic and respect, right? You both respect each other. You both are encouraging each other. There's a conversation happening where you're both giving ideas, and you both are genuinely rooting for each other's success. My clients want me to succeed as much as I want them to succeed. Like, we all rise. And so joy and alignment, is this good? I'm going to give you a moment so you can screenshot this. Addie, what are we seeing in the chat?
Oh my goodness. We've got Shirley saying, hello. Hi, Lily. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. She said, I already heard my golden nugget and we want to know what it is. So please share with us. Erneste says, letting go and breaking free is fun.
Yeah, so good, so
amazing,
good, so good.
Amazing.
Okay, so joy and alignment, you got to make sure in your conversations you're looking out for this. You're looking for joy, you're looking for alignment when you're working with your clients. Now, here's what's really cool. If you have joy, but there's no, or if you have alignment but no joy, right? It's okay to ask them, or it's okay to share with them, here's what I would require from you if we work together, right? And what happens is oftentimes somebody's not a dream client in that call, but they can become a dream client because of that call. Oh, that was a breakthrough for someone. They may not be a dream client at the start of the call, but as you share, this is what I require from you, they can step up to the plate and they can become a dream client because of your wow talk, because of the call. So make sure that you are also creating that opportunity. If you find joy and alignment with the person you're speaking to, then your job is to just ask. Who's on team just ask? Let me know in the chat. Your job, if you want to work with them, just ask. Here's a rule of abundance. You have what you're willing to ask for. Another way to say it, you have not because you ask not. Right? You want clients? How many times are you asking for clients? You want referrals? How many times a day are you asking for referrals? You have not because you ask not. Asking is everything. Asking is the beginning of receiving. If you do not ask, you will not have. So just ask. You have an obligation to go out and share the good news of what's possible when people say yes to working with you. We covered that on Tuesday. 9 times out of 10, though, when you are asking for something you want, you come from a place of insecurity, passivity, beating around the bush, because you're afraid of hearing no. Have you ever been here? I know I have. Right, here's my niece. This was at our wedding. We're about to celebrate our 6-year anniversary on Saturday. I know, but this is my niece. Okay, I'm the Nino. I'm the cool uncle. She came to me one day and she asked me a question. She said, Nino, I want to ask you something, but I'm scared you're going to say no. Have you ever had a child tell you that? I want to ask you, but you're going to say no. And it broke my heart when I heard that because she had already learned the fear of asking for something she wanted. She had already learned the fear of just asking. She just wanted some ice cream, right? And as a cool uncle, of course, we got her some ice cream. I didn't get her this ice cream. This is kind of crazy. I don't even know how anybody can eat this without, like, I don't know, being in a coma for like 5 years. But she's not alone. Can you see how many times you've stopped yourself from asking for what you wanted because you were afraid of hearing no? Asking is the beginning of receiving. If you don't ask, you won't have. I want to know, actually, let me know in the chat. What have you stopped yourself from asking for because you were afraid of hearing no? What have you stopped yourself from doing, from asking for, from reaching out for because you were afraid to hear no? I'm actually going to give you about a minute, 60 seconds to type in the comments and let me know. What have you stopped yourself from asking for or from doing or from reaching out for? Addie, what are we seeing in the chat?
Yeah, Satori says hashtag shoot your shot, hashtag golden nugget. She's no longer scared to hear the word no. Sophia says asking is the beginning of receiving.
So good. So
She
good.
also says happy anniversary weekend. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Let me know in the chat. What have you stopped yourself from doing, asking for, reaching out for because you were afraid to hear no? What are we seeing?
Yeah, and Lori says, sadly, too many things.
Yeah.
Wayne says, ask. That's a nugget of biblical proportions, right?
So good. So good. Listen, in business, passive doesn't work. Insecurity won't win. Wishing, hoping is not a viable option. Okay, this doesn't work in business. I'm just going to cross my fingers and my toes and my legs and my arms and I'm just going to crisscross my whole body. And hopefully something happens. It doesn't work. I'm curious, what would life look like 1 year from now if you were never afraid to hear no ever again? You asked for what you wanted. Let me know in the chat. What would life look like 1 year from now if you were never afraid to hear no ever again? In business, not asking means not making money or a difference. If you are not asking, you're not making a difference. So why is asking such a difficult part of life? Why? Well, are you done playing a small game and allowing fear to hold you back? If so, if you're like, no more is fear going to hold me back, no more are giants going to stop me, no more are the mountains or the obstacles or the issues or the insecurities or the comparison in front of me going to stop me from doing everything I've been called to do. No more am I going to allow anything else to stop me or slow me down because the mission I'm on is too important. The mission I'm on, the goals I have, the legacy I want to live, the generations to come after me, it's too important to play too small. If that's true for you, go ahead and put hashtag no more in the chat right now. Hashtag no more. What are we seeing in the chat, babe?
Yeah, Aneste says, hashtag no more. Mo says done playing small.
Yes, so
Lori
good.
says, definitely more clients living my calling better.
Listen, applaud every single person because every single person making a decision right now to say no more is a life change, and not just one, but every single person that they impact as they play a bigger game. Like, can we just applaud every single person who's making this decision right now? No more. So let's keep going. When prospects say no, right, what happens? Most of the time, actually, prospects don't say no. They say why they can't say yes. Catch that. Most of the time, prospects don't say no. They say why they can't say yes. In other words, it's not you, it's me. Okay? These are called objections. Objections are simply why they can't say yes. So why do objections exist? Well, before we can cover specific objections, you're going to hear from potential clients. It's important to know what objections actually are. Every time you speak with a prospect, here's what's happening. They're bringing all the baggage from previous experiences into the conversation. Every pushy salesperson, every aggressive jerk, every manipulative creep. Because of the history of salespeople being pushy, aggressive, and manipulative, buyers have been conditioned to protect themselves. Somebody put in the chat, protect themselves from salespeople by using objections. And even though you know that's not true, right? You're not a sales jerk. You're not a manipulative creep. You're not a sleazy person. They don't know that. Buyers worry that you won't live up to your promises. They'll worry you'll have manipulated them somehow and duped them into parting with their hard-earned cash. They worry that you'll take advantage of them. Because of this, during any sales conversation, their subconscious is magnifying, put that in the chat right now, magnifying every flaw, every risk, every concern they see about you or your offer to prove they are right about you. Their subconscious is magnifying it. Their brain is magnifying it. Can you see how, as a coach, expert, freelancer, you feel excited about the opportunity? Somebody in the chat, go ahead and put excited. You feel excited about the opportunity to solve their problem, but all they see is change and danger. Change and danger. Put that in the chat. Change and danger. You see possibilities. Buyers see danger and change. You see your life can change. You could be healthier. You could be wealthier. You could be happier. But they see danger and change when having a conversation with the salesperson. And every human on the planet, buyer, seller, you, me, every human, lives with an underlying fear. It's a psychological underlying fear that's wired into their brain that change will always make things worse. Have you ever found yourself in a routine and you're like, why am I doing this over and over and over? It's literally your brain finding comfort. It doesn't want to change. Your brain literally wants comfort. Why? Because it says your brain believes an underlying fear that change will always make things worse, which means our buying habits are driven by a deep psychological need to avoid, somebody in the chat go ahead and put the word avoid, irreversible, dangerous change. So when your buyer is faced with options, they will always gravitate towards the one that is perceived to carry the least amount of risk. Somebody in the chat, go ahead and put risk in the chat. Okay, they're going to gravitate. Which saying yes to you is more risky or saying no to you is more risky? So here's what objections are. Objections are your buyer's survival mechanism. Somebody been in the chat, go ahead and put survive. It's their survival mechanism to avoiding threatening, irreversible decisions that would create negative change in their life. I want you to think back. Okay, let me make this real for you. Think back to the last time you invested in something. How pessimistic were you? Did you doubt they'd come through? Were you skeptical that they'd actually fulfill on their end of the bargain? Right? Think back to, that says think. Think back to the last time you were walking down the street. Maybe you're going to like Target or a grocery store or something like that. And someone with a clipboard or flyer was right in the front. And you're like walking and you're like, oh my gosh, I know they're going to ask me to sign something. Right? They wanted your attention. Right? You either said no, thank you, right? As politely as possible. Or you're like, no thanks. It's okay. I want you to actually think back to when you signed up for this challenge. When you signed up, were you kind of skeptical? Did you have doubts? Did you cautiously sign up? Maybe you're like, meh, all right, we'll see if this works. This is going to be another one of those 5-day sales pitches. He's not actually going to teach anything. I'm going to waste my time. I'm going to show up to day 1. I won't even show up for the day 2. Let me know in the chat. Maybe that was you. That's okay. Maybe you even thought, again, this is just one of those 5-day sales pitches. Can you see how you may have brought all the baggage from previous experiences into this one? Look, if you had that experience, if you cautiously signed up, that's not a bad thing. You're supposed to do that. Your brain is designed to do that. It simply means my job this week was to prove we're not like everyone else. Okay? I want to know in the chat, have we done our job? Have we proven, wow, this is actually a valuable challenge that, like, this is such a great piece of training. Let me know in the chat. Addie, what are we seeing in the chat?
Wayne says, I will survive.
Yeah.
Tommy says, no, that wasn't me.
Oh, good.
Mo says, for sure, had doubts before joining. Linda says, I was until I watched the first pre-challenge video, and then I knew this was going to be so different.
So good. So good. I love it. I love it. I love it. I hope we did our job. Let me know in the chat. Okay, here's something that's super key. Objections are a natural part of the sales process, not an interruption of it. It is a natural part of the sales process, not an interruption of it. I'm going to give a little pregnancy example because I was thinking about this morning. Addie, you've been having some Braxton Hicks, right? Braxton Hicks, if you've ever been pregnant, you know it's like your tummy tightening, right? That is a natural part of labor, of giving birth, of the process. It's not a bad part. It's uncomfortable, for sure, but it's not bad. It's not unnatural. It's a natural part. Same thing with objections. Objections are a natural part of the sales process, not an interruption of it. It's not bad pain. It's good. Okay? Your ability to professionally handle your buyer's objections is proof. Somebody in the chat, go ahead and put the word proof that you're different and that you truly know what you're doing. Can we dive a little bit deeper though? Because hearing objections does hurt. Okay, maybe it's fear you won't know what to say or that you'll look dumb or that you won't, you know, they'll say no, right? Nobody wants to be rejected, especially by a cute puppo. Nobody wants to be rejected. So let's talk about this. The difference between objections or objections. Objections or rejections? Objections. Let's talk about this. Okay. Objections are signs of confusion, genuine concern, curiosity, overwhelm, buying interest, or fear of change. Okay, they're primarily focused on the buyer. Listen, whenever you hear an objection, it is a buying signal. They're interested, they're thinking about it, they're curious about it, they're asking questions. If they were like, okay, yeah, whatever, and they're not bringing anything to the table, right? They're not even considering it. But this is a buying signal, right? It sounds like this. An objection says, I don't know if I can afford this, right? It's focused on the buyer. What if I don't have time for this? I need to run this by my wife, husband, business partner, supervisor, right? It's all focused on them. A rejection, on the other hand, are personal insults towards and about you. It's highly unlikely, somebody say highly unlikely in the chat, that you're going to hear something like this, because people aren't jerks, but they sound like this. I'll never do business with you in a million years. Your business sucks. You're a loser. I don't like you or what you do. Okay, listen, that was super painful. Even though you I don't mean any of it. Notice how painful those are to hear. Okay, it was painful for me to even say. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to say this. So why does it hurt so badly when you hear someone share an objection and not a rejection? Right? Well, here's what happens. When you hear an objection, a healthy brain, if you're normal, it registers it as a rejection. So whenever you hear an objection and it hurts, what should you do? Let me know in the chat, what should you do? Here's what you should do. Get over it. Just get over it, okay? I'm just kidding. Just get over it doesn't work. It is literally impossible to just get over it. And honestly, if any coach ever tells you, any trainer ever tells you, just get over it, that's actually really insensitive advice. Because rejection does hurt. It's dismissing the feeling you're actually having, the experience you're experiencing. Objections sting, and it's bigger than you think. Okay, we're gonna get a little smarty pants. Actually, yeah, smarty pants. There's a new way of singing it. I wanted to sing it, but whatever. Okay. Your brain has one primary job. Okay, it has a ton of jobs, but one primary one, and that's to keep you alive. 5 times a second. Somebody say 5x. 5 times a second at an unconscious level. Your brain is scanning the environment around you and asking itself, is it safe here or is it dangerous, right? Your brain at a subconscious, you're not thinking of this actively, but your brain's looking for spiders and bears and cobwebs and, oh my gosh, there, and like a knife and sharp objects. Your brain is doing it automatically. It's looking and asking itself, is it safe here or is it dangerous? And your brain's method of keeping you alive is to recognize and eliminate one thing: pain, right? Have you ever stubbed your toe? I cut my toe like last week and it hurt. It was a tiny cut. Right? Have you ever gotten like a paper cut or something? But where does your entire body go when you feel pain? To that paper cut. It's like your whole body crunches to the pain to try to protect itself. Why? Because pain is a signal to your brain that something is wrong. There are literally large parts of your brain that are dedicated to recognizing pain. Okay? I'm gonna get a little smarty pants. The anterior insula and the anterior cingulate cortex. That's how I would sound if I were a professor in college. This is probably why I only went to college for one day. Okay, these are just fancy words for parts of the brain where physical pain is registered. Okay, that's where physical pain happens, where your brain kind of goes crazy, and it's right there, okay? Guess what part of your brain lights up like crazy when it hears rejections or an objection? The same place. Even worse, rejections and objections are experienced in the brain with 5 times, somebody put 5x again, 5 times the intensity than physical pain. Right? Your brain goes crazy. That is why it's easier for you to remember a time when you were rejected than the pain you felt when you broke a bone. Because rejection feels more painful, 5 times more painful than breaking a bone. Crazy, right? An objection is the same thing. That's why it's easier, again, for you to remember a time when you were rejected than to remember the pain from breaking a bone. Can you think back to childhood? I want to take a moment, right? We're going to go back and remember a time when you were rejected. Okay, for me, I can remember one time being at my neighbor's house with about 7 other neighborhood kids, and I discovered it was a sleepover, and we all were all having fun. And when I found out, I asked, can I stay the night? And they looked all around at each other, not at me, and their faces said it all. No words, but deep rejection. I was on the outside. They did not want me there. I didn't belong. I wasn't cool enough. I can also remember a time, maybe you felt this too, when people pick teams for school sports, always being one of the last ones chosen. As a side note, because of my childhood experiences, I've made it my personal mission to always make people feel like they are the first one to be picked for the team. I hope Melissa and Mo and Brian and every single one who's here, I hope I made you feel that way. I hope I accomplished my personal mission. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited you're here. I choose you first. Rejection sucks. But why? Why does our brain do this? Have you ever, why am I doing this? Well, way back in the day, being rejected by your tribe, banished from your tribe, meant you would immediately lose shelter, fire, food, protection, and community. Okay? In other words, rejection was a death sentence. And although we don't live in tents or makeshift homes anymore, we're still part of several tribes. Somebody in the chat, go ahead and put the word tribe. Okay, you're part of your immediate family, your neighborhood tribe, your state tribe, your school tribe, your sports tribe, your church tribe, your gym tribe, your national tribe. And even if we get quote unquote banished from one of these tribes, we now have options, right? We just go to another gym. But even with all this civilization and progress, our brains have not yet caught up. So whenever it hears rejections or it hears an objection or even sees the possibility, right? Oh, if I ask, I'm going to get rejected. The possibility of getting rejected, what it's really saying is, we're all going to die. We're all going to die. And in a life or death situation, your brain only has 3 strategies. Somebody in the chat, go ahead and put 3. Addie, what are we seeing in the chat?
Linda says, #tribe, love this tribe. Satori says, thank you for the empathy. Linda says, #rejection sucks.
Yeah, so good, so good. Okay, in a life or death situation, your brain only has 3 strategies. To fight, and if you actually pay attention, he's not actually hitting anyone. This is just so silly, right? It's to fight. You get really aggressive. To flight, so run away. Like, okay, you end the call as soon as possible. To freeze, right? Like you're like, you kind of start spittering out and spittering, like you don't know what you're doing. Or to fawn, right? Nothing matters, do whatever you want. Or you're like, okay, I can do you're people pleasing at this point, right? Like I can just or whatever you need, I can do that. I'll give you a discount, a budget, I'll work with your budget, whatever. Physically, what happens when you hear an objection or a rejection, your body tenses up with your adrenaline, your heart starts beating faster, your pupils focus. Why? Because it's preparing you to do one of these things: fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Emotionally, here's what happens in your brain. The limbic system, go ahead and just pat the back of your head. Everyone, pat the back of your head. Say, hi, brain. Your limbic system, the emotional part of your brain, literally looks like it's exploding. Okay, it's going crazy. And intellectually, you actually become really dumb. Studies have shown your IQ drops by at least 20% when you get rejected or see the potential for rejection. Okay? I remember I saw this meme once that said, whenever you've been called out by class to have you ever been in high school or class and they're like, the teacher calls on you and hey, what's the answer to this? And you're kind of freaking out. You're like, oh, I don't know. And the person said, okay, I said out loud to the teacher, okay, I'm not dumb. I'm just freaking out. Give me a second to calm down. Okay. This happens in our brain no matter what. This is a natural part of what happens in our brain. Our brains are actually wired to notice what's wrong about something before we even notice what's right about something. Again, it's keeping us alive. It wants to know what's wrong. Our brains are biased to assume that situations are dangerous rather than not dangerous. Which means if you're not sure about a situation or your clients aren't sure, potential clients aren't sure about a situation, like in a sales conversation, you'll default to reading it as unsafe and start reacting with the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response. That's the exact reason sales is a huge challenge for most. That's literally right there. If you didn't catch that, that's the secret. That is why it's so hard. This is why talking about your offers, selling your services, even networking is such a difficult task for most entrepreneurs. You want to confidently sell, but your brain is literally making it nearly impossible because it thinks it's going to get rejected and die. They want to confidently buy, right? People love buying, but their brain is literally making it nearly impossible because it thinks salespeople are unsafe and they want to get away as fast as possible. But there's good news. Somebody, just breathe in and breathe out. There's good news. Somebody put in the chat, good news. You're not completely powerless. Okay, if you've already committed to building a successful business and leaving fear, insecurity, rejection behind so you can confidently land high-paying clients, give me a committed in the comments below. Addie, what are we seeing in the chat?
We're commenting on the Jurassic Park GIF. The music is amazing. It is. Linda says, hashtag good news.
Yes.
I love that.
So good, so good.
Erneste says, fight, flight, freeze. And someone said, oh, fun. That's new.
People pleasing. So key, so key. What else? What else?
Cheryl
Let's see.
also says, this is what's caused me not to start a lot of new things.
Ooh.
And then we have Mo, Jeremy, Tommy, Cheryl, Linda saying, I'm committed.
Yes,
saying,
yes. So good, so good. Okay. First of all, I recognize your bossness. I only coach leaders. You're a leader. I'm coaching you. Is that okay? Let's talk about taking back control. Let's focus first. I'm going to give you 2 strategies to use. Okay, the first is going to be for your potential clients. How do you make it safe for them to confidently buy from you? Remember, 5 times a second, your brain is asking, is it dangerous? Your client's brain is doing the same thing. Right? They're asking, is this dangerous or is this safe? And they're using 4 questions. Your brain is on a subconscious level. Your clients are using 4 questions to answer. Am I safe or am I in danger? These 4 questions are directly related to the 4 primary drivers that influences the brain's ability to feel safe. Okay, if you can pull these levers, people will feel safe with you. Whether it's a potential client, whether it's a spouse, whether it's kids, your kids, whether it's cousins or family members or brothers, sisters, parents, whether it's friends, whether it's completely just new people at a networking meeting, right? These will determine if you pull these 4 levers. Are you ready? Do you want to make people feel safe when they're around you? If it's a yes, put the 4 safe in the chat. Okay, here are the 4 things. Go ahead and put this in the chat as well, then I'll break it down. Tribe, expectation, rank, and autonomy. I'm going to give you a second to write those down. Tribe, expectation, rank, autonomy. Tribe, expectation, rank, autonomy. Addie, what are we seeing?
Linda saying hashtag ready. Ernest
Awesome.
says,
I'm going to steal your cup.
That's fine.
Okay.
Tommy says safe. Nicole says safe. Chris said I would comment more, but I'm madly screenshotting.
I love it. I love it. Actually, I want to know how many of you have taken at least 1 screenshot. Let me know in the chat. I love it when people take screenshots because it allows you to remember. So good. Okay, so tribe, let's go back. Tribe, expectation, rank, autonomy. Let's go ahead and break this down. How do you create safety for buyers? Let's talk about tribe, the first one. Your client's brain is asking, are you with me or are you against me? If your clients believe they belong and that you are on their side, it will increase their sense of safety. Okay, I want you to think about the silly things you can do at home where you feel safe versus in public, right? Where you're just like at like a mall or something, right? We have silly voices for our dog. Do you have silly voices for your pet? Our dog has a really high-pitched voice, so we make like high-pitched, and we're just super silly at home. Why? Because we feel safe there. We feel like this is where I belong. Okay, are you with me or are you against me? Okay, let's go back to tribe real quick. Let me go back. Are you with me or are you against me? What you want to do, the reason why this is so important and the reason why heart-centered sales works so well is because the whole conversation is about them. I am here to make sure that you make the best decision for you. I'm here to be a professional helper. I am with you and your goals and your challenges. Okay, that's what you want to communicate to your clients. I'm with you. I'm here for you. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing, expectation. Your client's brain is asking, do I know what's going to happen or don't I? Right? If the future is unclear, or if the future is clear, the situation is safe. If the future is unclear, it's dangerous. That's why setting the tone is so key. That's why we tell them this is what the conversation is going to look like. This is what the agenda is. This is what you can expect. At any time you can leave, right? I want you to think about the last time you were listening to someone talk. Maybe it's a wedding speech, a class lecture, and they said they were going to be 60 minutes, but they kept going on and on and on and on and on and on and on, even past the set schedule. First of all, how frustrated were you? And then also, how likely were you looking for ways to walk out quietly? Right? You're like, somebody get the mic away from him. He's talking too long. Okay, so you want to tell them what to expect. Number 3, rank. Your client's brain is asking, am I less or more important than those around me? If your clients feel like they have power in this situation and that their best interests are the sole focus of the conversation, they will feel safe. That's why I just said, like, you have permission to, I tell my clients, you have permission to leave this, potential clients, you have permission to leave this conversation at any point. You're in control, right? You're the most important thing in this conversation, not me. That's why I'm turning off my phone. I'm putting away distraction. I'm fully focused on you because you're important. Think about the last time you were near a control freak boss or a parent who controlled everything or an authority figure. How much did you feel safe around them, right? And then the final one, autonomy. Your client's brain is asking, do I have a say or don't I? If your clients feel they have a choice in staying or leaving the conversation or in the direction of the conversation, then your clients will feel safe. That's why you don't want to just ask question after question after question. You want to dive deeper. You don't want it to be interview. You want to have a conversation so they feel safe. Think about a time you were told to do something. Okay, this is a little bit of my rebellion too. I do this too. I think about the last time you were told to do something that you didn't want to do, or you were told to do something you were going to do anyways. Like, listen, I was going to do that anyways. Now I don't want to do it because you're telling me to do it. Listen, if you let them know they're in control, they have autonomy, they can make a decision that's best for them, they will feel safe. Okay, if you want to create a sense of safety for potential clients, your kids, are you getting how when you put this together, every relationship in your life begins to improve, right? Let's say every single person you want to have a really deep conversation with or a deep relationship with, client, spouse, anyone, they felt like they belonged when they were around you. They felt they knew what to expect when they were around you. They knew that they were important and that you made them feel important and that they were in control. You weren't trying to take their power, but you gave them their power back. How safe would they feel? Are you getting that? Let me know in the chat. Addie, before we go on to the next part, what are we seeing?
Lori says, LOL. Shirley says, so true. Lori says, I feel you. Rebecca says, micromanagers and control freaks are frustrating.
Yeah, so good, so good. Okay. So your job in the conversation is to create a sense of tribe, to let them know what to expect, to acknowledge their importance, and to give them control. Okay. Are you getting, again, how this can also impact your kids, your spouse, your friends, your family, everyone else in your life? Also, did you see how all of the mistakes that we were going over yesterday covered this? Like, hey, I'm asking permission. I'm like leading the conversation. I'm not controlling. Now let's focus on how we can make it safe for you to discuss objections. Okay, let's make it, we talked about the client. Let's talk about you. Which, by the way, again, are buying indicators. Objections are buying indicators. Okay, let's talk about emotional resilience. Emotional resilience. Emotional resilience dampens, go to put it in chat, dampens the emotional intensity you feel when you hear an objection. Okay, emotional resilience is built by putting yourself in positions of safe rejection so you can train your brain to recognize it's not a death sentence. Okay, there's this challenge called the 97 days of rejection, where you literally do something every day where you could possibly get rejected. Okay, ask your neighbor if they can take a photo of you doing a handstand, even if you don't even know how. Ask the restaurant for a free drink or burger. Ask the flight staff if you can move to first class for free. The first time I flew first class, it was because I asked. I was like, hey, I see there's a seat there. Can I get it? Like, And they said, yeah, it was amazing. And I was really nice to them. So make sure you're really nice to people too. So ask the flight staff, like make these simple, easy asks every single day. I try to ask for one thing every day that I could possibly hear a no to. Why? Because I want to train my brain. I am training my brain, train your brain to hear no and still move forward. Safe rejection creates strong resilience. Put that in the chat. Take a screenshot of it. So important. Addie, what are we seeing in the chat?
Yeah, Satori says objections are buying indicators. She said, I want my clients to feel like VIP, like how I'm made to feel at my favorite establishments. She wants them to have that same feeling.
So good. Safe rejection creates strong resilience. Part of your homework today is to go get rejected. Go hear a no. Nothing's going to happen. It's just going to be no. Okay, now when you do hear an objection, we're going to end with this. I want you to use the A.B.R.A method. Okay, abracadabra, objection be gone. When your brain hears rejection, it simply needs a nanosecond to process what's happening and realize, oh, I'm not going to die. Literally needs like a split second. Okay, and that's again where the A.B.R.A brain hack comes into play. Awareness, buffer, repeat, and ask. Awareness, buffer, repeat, and ask. Go ahead and put that in the chat. Awareness, buffer, repeat, and ask. Let's cover these. Awareness. This is simple. This is so simple. Okay. Having the ability to recognize what's happening in your body and your brain when you hear an objection. When you know what's happening, you'll have a much greater capacity to make sense of the emotion and take back control. Put this in the chat. This is so key. Self-awareness breeds self-control. Self-awareness breeds self-control. Okay, I want to do a quick check-in. How are you feeling right now? How are you breathing? Is it deep breaths? Or is it shallow breaths? Or were you not even aware that you were breathing? Are you smiling? Everybody just do a big smile for yourself. Let's release some happy emotions, happy chemicals. Or are you frowning? Are you just kind of straight-faced? Are you hunched over? Or are you sat up straight? Are you tense? Right? Check your feet, your legs, your hips, your torso, your chest, your arms, your jaw, right? Your eyes, your head. Are you tense anywhere? Or are you relaxed? Bigger question, were you consciously aware of this before we brought it up? Right? Were you consciously aware of how you were showing up? Anytime you're in a sales conversation, try to retain about 10% of your awareness on your own body. Okay, like, okay, what am I feeling right now? How am I experiencing this? What your breathing is like, what you're feeling, your emotions, what your thoughts are, right? Try to retain just every couple of minutes, check in on yourself. The fact that you went through today's training is automatically going to bring you more awareness. Is that okay? Can I give you more awareness so you have more control? Okay, buffer. Buffers are quick statements, agreements, or questions you've rehearsed and have on standby to say immediately after hearing an objection. Buffers give your brain enough time to calm down and realize it's not about to die. Okay, it sounds like this. That's interesting. Can you tell me why this is important to you? Interesting. Could you walk me through your concern? Or just to be sure I understand your question, could you elaborate a little bit? Here's my favorite buffer though. Great question. I get it. Great question. I get it. That's it. Say that out loud right now. Great question. I get it. Practice it. Great question. I get it. Great question. I get it. Great question. I get it. Okay. Say it over and over and over. I say it now without even thinking because I've practiced it so much. And then you want to repeat. That's the R in A.B.R.A. Repeat. After you've said your buffer, you want to make sure your prospect feels valued, their concerns are valid, and that you've heard them correctly so you can confidently walk them through their objection. So let's say their objection is money, right? You can do this simply by repeating their objection to them instead of trying to answer it immediately. Here's what it sounds like. Great question, I get it. That's the buffer, right? They say, oh, I don't know if I can afford it. Oh, that's great. I get it. What I hear you saying is you're concerned about the money or you feel like you can't afford this. Is that right? All you want to do is make them feel heard, like I heard you and I get it. Okay. Then you want to ask. Before answering the questions, you want to ask for any and all other concerns. It's important to get all your prospects' concerns and objections on the table before moving forward. Otherwise, it becomes a ping pong of, oh, I'm concerned about this. Okay, let me answer it. I'm concerned about this too. Let me answer it. right? So great question. I get it. What I hear you saying is you're concerned about the money. Is that right? Great. Before we discuss that, are there any other questions or concerns you have right now? Get it all on the table. Oh yeah, what about the time? Or I don't know if I can make those meetings, or right, get it all on the table so you can deal with it all. And then end with this. Great. So are you saying that once we solve this, we solve the money challenge, the time challenge, this, that you can confidently say heck yes today and sign up today? Listen, avoiding objections is a very bad strategy. You're a leader and a professional. Okay? You're a starter and a finisher, a dreamer and a doer. And you are incredible and amazing, and an entrepreneur and a world changer. Leaders and professionals don't avoid. Ooh, catch that. We handle with care. So great question. I get it. What I hear you saying is, great. Is there any other concern you have? Awesome. If we solve all of those questions and concerns you have, are you ready to say yes today? Great. Let's explore them. Now, the day 4 workbook is going to be emailed to you immediately after this training. Okay, was that good or what? You're going to have the A.B.R.A script and strategy, and I want you to take action. Okay, interview one more person by tomorrow. At most, it'll take 20 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe an hour. Offer someone a free Wow Talk, then turn it into a sales conversation, then use the A.B.R.A strategy, and then go live. I want to watch your live streams. Tomorrow, we're giving away prizes for people who've gone live, so go live and share. What was your biggest gold nugget from today? And what does life look like 1 year from now when you've consistently implemented what you've learned this week? Let me know in your live. Every live stream enters you to win a prize. Justin, who's our support coach, we're going to hear from him in just a second on what he did to do this, which is super cool. Now, remember, there's a bonus expert panel this Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific time on Zoom for the Inner Circle, live stream for everyone else. And then you don't have to sign up for it. It's going to be already created, but you do have to sign up for Monday's group coaching. Everyone's invited. It's this Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Okay, Zoom seats are limited. So register right now because it's on Zoom. Go to clientchallenge.com/group-call. We'll send you the Zoom link. We're giving away prizes on Friday. Okay, Amazon gift cards, ring light, Yeti microphone, iPad mini, 12 months of coaching. Imagine what life is going to look like 12 months from now when you and I have worked every single week on your business and life. Let me know which one you're calling out. We're also giving away the whole coaching intensive, which is super cool. That's why I'm so excited because we got to give away $25 Amazon gift card today. Addie, who is our prize winner for just showing up today live and commenting?
Showing up, showing out. I love it. Our winner for today is Linda Pretorius.
Linda, congratulations, Linda. We're so excited for you. Claim your prize within the next 72 hours. 73 hours pass, I'm not going to give it to you because you didn't follow the rules. 72 hours from now, support@HeySeanQ.com. Send us an email. Rest of this week, again, tomorrow, scaling your systems, sustaining momentum. Saturday, the bonus guest expert panel at 9 a.m. Monday, free group coaching. And then all next week, we're doing bonus Q&A and workshops. All next week. It's pretty insane. Huge shout out to the team. They make all this happen. Give them a huge round of applause. Can we just applaud them in the chat right now? Way to go, Team Q. I could not do what I do without them. They are amazing. Now let's get into some Q&A hosted by my beautiful wife, Abiola.
All right, we're going to go ahead and bring up our support coaches. Wasn't this training just fire today?
Yeah.
It was so good.
I'm curious, what are some of the gold nuggets people are sharing? Go ahead and put your gold nugget in the chat. What are some gold nuggets that we are hearing from folks?
Yeah, and I can actually share a few that I've been seeing throughout the challenge while we get our support coaches. I see them coming on up. Chris Taylor said, you actually gave us a whole system for getting clients. I say that because so many teachers give you good information, then sort of stick in, then a miracle occurs, and then I'm stuck. So that makes so much. You're giving us the actual steps.
Yes, I love it.
Satori said experience over features. Hunter says sloppy success. All right. Good afternoon. I know it's like different time zones. Some people are saying they're 1 a.m. joining us. Hello. I see we've got Justin, Brian, Akam, and is that Nadine?
That is Nashira.
Nashira, sorry. All right, let's jump into our questions. First question. How do you discern between a real objection and an excuse? So I'm going to go ahead and give this question to Akam. How do you discern between a real objection and an excuse? And I think we've got to unmute.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Oh, there you are. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it definitely happens all the time, right? And for me, the determination is, as was said earlier about the action being their desire to work with you, but there's just something that needs to be solved, versus an excuse is something like, you know, what are you having, when you say money, like, are you having trouble keeping the lights on? Or is that money just allocated towards fixing your kitchen remodel? You know, what are the differences between what you can and can't do and what you will and won't do, I guess would be the difference. And it's easy to deal with the objections when you don't take it personally. And when you know that that's just them saying, I want to, but I need you to bring me that last 10% of the way with the expenses and the safety and the security. And and then the excuses are literally like the stuff that no one can do anything about. And then you just try to hold space for them so that when that excuse is alleviated, they will come back to you knowing that you hold them in the truth.
Thank you, Akam. I love that. Giving
So
them
good.
more information.
And I actually have, I want to add too, ask them, right? Is this something that if we figured out and we fixed today that you're in, or is this an excuse, right? I'll ask that. Like, is this an excuse? You just want to leave the conversation, and that's okay too, because I don't want to waste your time. I care too much about you to waste your time. So do you really want to do it, but it's really the time or the money? And if we figure that out, you're in, or do you want to leave the conversation? Because let's do that too. It's giving them permission to choose one or the other and just asking for it. So good.
All right, next question's for Nashira. What if someone objects to all your pricing options? Do you let go of the sale, or do you continue to try and work something out?
Yeah, I think one of the things that Sean said that stood out to me is that we are professionals. And so if nothing works out, we've done the objections, we talked them through. I think the best way to go is to end the call well, right? End the call like a professional. So that may mean maybe you got that self-awareness, you're feeling the rejection, but it's just turning it back. Man, whatever the call was, starting it and how you ended, you know, did you feel like you got value today? Ending the call well could also just mean like, if now's not a good time, would it be okay if I reach out to you in 3 months from now, in 6 months from now, and following back up with them? I can tell you from experience, there have been times I've been on a call and it's been a no. And then I'll see them in my inbox like, hey, I think you should talk to my mother. She has some money issues that she could need use help with. And so you never know, like, you don't want to just be like, okay, bye, you rejected me, I wasted my time. It's really, you want to end the call well. Remember, you came there to serve, and so you can just serve while ending the call. And so I hope that helps.
That is so good. And I actually wanted to add to that. Just thank you for that, Nashira. The way you present yourself is the way people will speak about you. So when you think about referrals, if it's not that right fit, maybe they're like, oh, I just really love the way I interacted with that person. And I know somebody, right, that would be a perfect fit, like you were saying. So it speaks volumes to continue to be a professional, whether or not that person is a fit for you. Mm-hmm. So that was just my own little spiel.
And I'll add to that too, because it's so good. Get creative, right? Let's say you have your platinum, your gold, your silver. None of them are a good fit. Get creative. Well, what if we did a 2-hour intensive or a 1-day intensive? Or what if I just offered you one session where we at least got you moving forward, right? Like, get creative with what you're offering. And that way you can still serve them or redirect them or do exactly what Nashira or Addie said. So good.
All right, next question's for Brian. So Brian, should I require clients to put a 50% deposit down before I work with them? What would you say?
Yeah, I don't always do 50%, but I do a commitment amount. So it might just be like 10% or 50%. You know, it depends on what I'm selling, really. You know, if it's under $500, I'm going to just ask for the whole amount. But when I'm in my $3,000 to $5,000, then I usually do like a 10% commitment with a pay before we start. or pay half and then half in the middle. But the main thing is always get paid before you do the service, because you don't want to do the work and then be like, hey, remember you were going to pay me for this? And that just gets awkward. And going with the theme of we're professionals, professionals don't go and ask for money after they've done the service.
So good. And so key, it's not real until you get paid. So make sure you get paid.
Yeah.
And make sure you also have a contract, right? It's not real until the contract is signed. And then on just some practical stuff as well, make sure if you're doing, like sometimes I know like when I did our website, we paid 50% and then we paid, I think we paid 50% once it was done or whatever. Have that on auto pay. Right? And tell them we are going to auto pay you on this day for the remainder, whether we're done or not. Now, our goal is we're going to be done a month early or like right on time. But the reason why you want it on auto pay is because let's say they don't like your website or they're not like, no, I'm just keep making revisions, keep making edits. And now you're working over and over and over just to get it done. Hey, doesn't matter if we're doing revisions. I'll keep doing the revisions, but we're going to charge you on this day. So you want to make sure it's on auto pay. You're not like sending an invoice hoping they're going to pay, but what card would you like us to set up on auto pay? Put that in your contract and kind of go through there. So key.
All right, next question is for Justin. So can you share more about how you found hope in your own personal life? I struggle with depression and anxiety, and I don't know if I'll ever figure out this business thing.
Yeah. So first thing I want to say is you are not alone. And I would challenge everybody watching live or on replay. If you have struggled with depression or anxiety, if you're neurodivergent, drop a comment right now, because you're not alone and you're going to see that you're not alone. That's the first lie that gets us, right? I was diagnosed with attention deficit in 1982. Anxiety, depression, suicidal attempts. I've gone through it. I'm 46, going on 47 now. And the lie that tries to get us is that you are alone, that you don't matter, that you're not enough, that nobody gives a crap. And it's just a lie. You're not alone. Don't stand alone. The basic stuff I would say is give yourself grace, right? Like you are your own worst critic. And particularly for people who deal with mental health issues and people who are neurodivergent, self-contempt is where we go, and it does not serve us. Give yourself grace. When it comes to trying to build a business and feeling like you're spinning your wheels, you're running into walls and stuff, show up anyway. I show up to calls with Sean regularly in a place where I'm just like, I don't care. I'm not interested, but I'll sit there and I'll be present. And it's, I always learn something. I'm always encouraged. And oftentimes I've got a couple pennies to throw into the conversation that I didn't think I had. So show up. Obviously, work with a coach, a counselor, a doctor. Address those issues. Mental health is health. It is just as significant, just as real, if not more so, than physical health issues. All right. Like, there is no stigma. There is no shame. That is all BS. That is all BS. Now, a couple of the things that I do. I heard this term in the ADHD community called the wall of awful. Build up this wall of all the failures and shortcomings and disappointments and frustrations and insecurities and fears and doubts. And every time we go to try to start something, we feel like we're staring at that wall and it seems insurmountable. And so one of the things that I do is I have a wall of awesome. And I've gotten my kids on board with this too. Above each of their beds, they have a 24 by 36 inch cork board. And every time they win a ribbon at a swim meet or get a piece of art featured at school or have a compliment from a friend, write it down on a Post-it, stick it on there. And at 8 and 10 years old, their boards are already full.
Mm.
And when you're feeling low, when you're struggling, you go and you look at that wall of awesome and you start peeling through all the times people have given accolades, all the moments that you've gone, I did that. So create a wall of awesome. Put it in your office, put it in your bedroom, put it someplace where you'll walk by it and you'll see it and use it. That's what I have in the moment.
Wow. So good. I'm like, I'm going to go back and watch that little section. I just wanted to add to what Justin was sharing. As you know, coming from the mental health field myself, support is so important. I mean, even being a part of this community, I'm sure all of these support coaches, right, can attest to just being part of a community will help as well, not feeling alone, reaching out, even when you're like, I don't know, that's your brain doing the whole objection, rejection thing, right? Instead of letting that take over, saying, you know what, I'm going to step out anyways. I'm going to take one baby step. I'm going to reach out to someone. I'm going to say, hey, can we talk? Hey, I need support. And you will be surprised how much people are waiting just to hear from you. They're literally waiting like, oh, wow, like you're dealing with that too. Oh, then it gives them permission to be their most authentic self, gives them permission to also form that connection and to like, it's like a sigh of relief. I couldn't tell you how many times I've heard that, you know, from clients, from different people, that the mental strain of just being afraid to reach out was overcome once they took that baby step and realized, oh, there's actually more people waiting for me or willing to listen to me, that care about me, that want to support me, that want to be there for me. And so what I would say, even after this training, is like reach out to someone and just say, hey, this is where I'm at. Do you have, you know, a chance to talk, apart from, you know, practicing our wow talks and all of those things? That mental health is super, super key and super important. So thank you, Justin, for your vulnerability, for sharing all of that. The wall of awesome, is that what you called it?
Yeah.
I love that. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start sharing that too.
So
all right.
good. So good.
I think we have another question. This one's for Brian. So if your coaching is intuitive led or fluent, not a set program, how do you give your client an idea of what's to come?
Yeah, I'm really passionate about this, and it's something that I learned early in my coaching. And the way that I say it is be intuitive in the moment, but don't be intuitive in your program. And one of the things that I've learned is, you know, in coaching, there's what's called as dancing in the moment. Well, we're just going to show up and see what shows up, which there's value in that. But one of the things that Sean teaches, and I can't remember if he did it in this or an inner circle, but he talked about having a framework. And so I think if you have a framework to say, we're going to dance in the moment, like for my boldness coaching, I'm going to dance in the moment of vision for a session or two. And then I'm going to dance in the moment around strength. And then I'm going to dance in the moment around action and dance in the moment. So the client still knows where they're going, even though we have space to play within that framework. And one of the things that's super important about having that framework is it brings the level of trust with your clients, because they know that you are guiding them along a path instead of just always staying in a space. So whatever that might look like for you is thinking about how long do you need to stay within a framework and explore in there. That's between you and your client, but definitely know I'm starting you from here and we're going here, and then we'll know this piece of work is finished, which is also really important for you to then be able to identify when the next package that you can sell is as well. So definitely intuitive in the moment, but not intuitive in your program.
That's so good. And it creates trust and safety, right? When they know, like, generally this is where we're going. Okay. Oh, this is where we're headed, but there's still that freedom, like you said, to explore. I love that.
All right. So for the sake of time, we're going to go ahead and close off Q&A there. I want to know, though, who are you shouting out? And what was your biggest takeaway from today? And this is for everyone else as well in the chat. Who are you going to shout out today, and what was your biggest takeaway? Justin, we'll start with you. Who are you shouting out? Biggest takeaway.
He's like, I'm not ready.
Going to shout out Satori today. She is just churning through, like, and there's challenges, there's trials, and she just keeps showing up. So kudos.
So good. So good. Let's go with Brian. Who are you shouting out, and biggest takeaway?
I've been, because I don't have like a specific group, because I'm kind of supporting the support coaches, I'm just getting a big picture, but I want to shout out all of the people who started day one yesterday or starting day one today, the it's not too late crowd, the people who said, I'm not going to skip out of this because it's halfway done, but I'm going to rock the replays, still work with my support coach, and keep going forward. So thank you for all those not late starters, the just getting started folks.
So good. So good. Let's go with Akam.
Yeah, they both took late, but there's a couple people whose names I can't pronounce, so I'm not going to butcher them on stage. But those late starters, the ones who are still going at it, the ones who are still doing the deeds and getting there, making the steps forward. And then also Katie Jane did her live yesterday, and I really want to shout her out for putting herself up there and doing those things. So, and everybody who's asking, keep asking, keep receiving. You're all doing great.
So good. So good. All right, and let's go with Nishira. Oh, you're out.
Sorry about that. I'm going to go along the same lines. I'm going to shout out Lily Butterfly. She's jumping in. She's not afraid. She's just starting late, but she's doing the thing. And so kudos to her. She's answering my messages. She's talking to me. She's getting it done. So shout out to her. And also, not on my team, but I want to shout out Lori. We got on a call yesterday, and she just went live. She's killing it. She's reframing her question. She's trying to get it done. And so shout out to Lori.
So good. Huge shout out to all of the support team. Here let me share something real quick. I'm going to end with this. This wasn't in the notes. We never call something tech problems or tech issues. We try our very best to use tech fun, because guess what? Tech is so fun, and things are going to happen. Like your mic is muted, or you record for like 6 hours, then realize the mic was muted at that point. I've done that before, right? And all right, this is all tech fun. We're having fun with tech. So recognize if you ever find yourself frustrated with tech, just call it tech fun, change your perspective, and it becomes so fun. I'm Sean Q. This has been Addie. Isn't she amazing? You're amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Addie is amazing. And so is Nyla. Can we give her a huge shout out? And I'm Sean Q, your high-tech sales coach this week. I take all the ick, the sleaze, and non-consensual sales tricks of the past. We throw them in the garbage so you can have more fun and business can be so simple. Tomorrow, we're giving away prizes for those of you who have gone live or will go live. You have to go live by the time we go live in order for you to win. I'll see you in the inner circle. If you're in the inner circle at 1 p.m. Pacific time, then tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time. I'm Sean Q, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.
#no more rejection. I'm so proud of you and the work you did today. Remember, you have not because you ask not. If you want something, ask for it. Go live and share your biggest #gold nugget from this week for a chance to win one of our amazing prizes. Over $10,000 in prizes given away tomorrow.